On Joe Biden's last full day in office this morning, the president issued a new round of pardons and commutations. He commuted the sentences of 2 people and pardoned 5. Included on that list is the famous civil rights activist Marcus Garvey, who was pardoned posthumously. Garvey was convicted of mail fraud in 1923, a federal crime. Kemba Smith Pradia was also among those pardoned. Kemba was a middle-class young woman, a college student. She fell in love with her boyfriend only to discover, she says, that he was selling drugs. When she learned his secret, she says he became abusive and coerced her into keeping his secret. She never did drugs herself. She never handled them. She never dealt them. But Kemba took the fall. She landed in prison for nonviolent drug charges for a 24-year sentence. Her family and the NAACP Legal Defense Fund fought to appeal her case and get her out. After 6.5 years in prison, her sentence was commuted by President Clinton in 2000. Now, today, just this morning, 24 years later, Kemba has been fully pardoned by President Biden. Joining me now is Kemba Smith Pradia herself, as well as Janae Nelson, President and Director Counsel of the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. Thanks to both of you for joining us. Janae, great to have you back on the show. Kemba, congratulations to you. I told a very small slice of your story. It's much more important and much bigger than that. So tell me, give me a few more of the highlights here.
First and foremost, just thank you so much for bringing us on. And actually, it's the media that has helped to uplift stories and the power of storytelling. And so while I was incarcerated, after being sentenced to 24.5 years after giving birth to my son while I was incarcerated, I was on this journey to fight for my freedom, and I'm very grateful to the Legal Defense Fund that took on the case and the many individuals that supported the efforts. But basically, I'm very transparent ever since my release about my story, about the choices that I made in hopes of preventing other young people from going down the same path, and also preventing other women from getting caught up in relationships that turn abusive. And basically, I was in a situation where I didn't know how to get out of it, and I didn't know how to get the proper help to get out of it as well. So, on today, on this momentous occasion, I dropped to my knees and I thank God on this Sunday morning for this opportunity, and on the fact of it's Dr. Martin Luther King holiday weekend, and it represents freedom and redemption. And the work that I've been doing, I believe, is a ministry, because it's never been just about just me. It's been about humanizing people, humanizing stories, and affording people second chances that deserve to be back in society and are no threat to public safety.
Let's talk about that, Janae. How did your organization, the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, get involved in the case? And tell me about, today is an important day, not just for Kemba, but for so many other people who were convicted of nonviolent drug offenses who spent disproportionate amounts of time either in jail or under conviction.
That's absolutely right. We got involved in Kemba's case early on by virtue of the brilliance of one of my predecessors, Elaine Jones, who heard the story of Kemba Smith in Emerge magazine. So again, Kemba was correct in noting that media plays an important part of lifting up these stories. And she saw that there was a young woman caught in the crosshairs of a discriminatory and very draconian criminal legal system. And we invested the resources of the Legal Defense Fund to help represent her. And it was a long and arduous fight that involved not only the incredible lawyers at LDF, but also Kemba's parents, Gus and Odessa Smith, who were champions of their daughter. It involved civil society organizations and the Delta Sigma Theta sorority and many other groups that stood behind this poster child of everything that is wrong with our criminal legal system. And you know what, Ali, I will say that if we take nothing away from this moment, is to take away the idea that second chances are not just about the individuals who have been ensnared in our criminal legal system. We also have a second chance as a society, as lawmakers, as politicians, as policy makers to create new opportunities for public safety that aren't punitive, that aren't harsh and dehumanizing. We have a second chance to correct the failed policies of the past. And what President Biden has done by commuting the sentences of over 4,000 individuals in just the past few weeks, he is proving that we've made some bad choices in the past and that there is redemption and rehabilitation that we can use to better our society as a whole, to make families whole and communities whole, as opposed to privileging punishment and retribution. We have choices to make, and I'm so grateful that President Biden chose to use his final remaining hours in office to liberate wonderful people like Kemba, who is an extraordinary human being and whose story is one that is shared by many.
I thank you for this. And Kemba, I think it's just important for us to note that while you were involved in the fight for your own justice, you got involved in the fight for justice for others. And that's the strength of the human spirit. That's amazing. And I suspect that fight continues long after today.
And can I make one last comment? In fighting for others, my friend Michelle West, her sentence was also commuted today. So I thank President Biden, I thank his administration, the pardon attorney, for this wonderful outcome. And I hope that you all continue to uplift stories so that we won't have continuous fear mongering in our country of incarcerated people and formerly incarcerated people. So thank you for this opportunity to celebrate.
We will make that commitment to you to continue to tell these stories. Thank you. Congratulations. Kemba Smith-Prady, a criminal justice advocate. Janae, good to see you again. Janae Nelson is the president and director counsel of the NAACP Legal Defense Fund.